The saga that is the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial is coming to a close, and we're honestly feeling a bit of a withdrawal here. Lies were spewed and truths were spilled, and at the crux of the drama, one thing was even spilled on the bed. Now, a lot of names have been brought up inside the courtroom, but one stands out from the rest: Jason Momoa. The Aquaman star probably wanted absolutely no involvement in all of the fiasco, but well, the law is messy. It spares no one, and seems like the Hawaiian-born actor has finally been heard, no pun intended. Why is he being brought up in the trial? Okay, so you're probably wondering, is Momoa stuck in a whole James Franco-esque situation? Has Johnny broken his silence about some more cheating here? Well, you'd be happy to know that that's not the case at all, and instead, another one of Amber Heard's claims has been thrown right out the window. If you've been keeping updated with the trial, you'd know that Heard has brought up almost losing her role in the sequel of Aquaman. But there's been major developments since then. President of DC Films Walter Hamada confirmed in a recorded deposition broadcast that the actress nearly did lose her leading role as Mera in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, but not for the reasons Heard's team claimed. Hamada's video evidence was aired at the Depp-Heard trial, contradicting Heard's and entertainment industry expert Catherine Arnold's claims that Heard almost lost the part following her ugly divorce from Johnny Depp. So here's where Jason Momoa comes in. Hamada acknowledged that Heard was almost fired from the project, but said it was due to a lack of chemistry between her and co-star Jason Momoa, not her legal squabbles with Depp. Not everyone can be Emilia Clarke, we suppose. The president of DC Films went deeper into the why too. The chemistry wasn't there, but that isn't uncommon in films at all. The chemistry between actors can be fabricated with the fancy score and cinematography. So when normal people like us watch the movie, we're blown away by the energy between the people. It goes without saying then that it ain't real. For Aquaman, it was really hard to bring that spark between Heard and Momoa, and it just didn't work. In Hamada's own words, sometimes you just put characters together on the screen and they work. It's like what makes a movie star a movie star. You know it when you see it. The chemistry wasn't there. This one was more difficult because of the lack of chemistry between the two. And if you've seen Aquaman, well, they know what they're talking about, is all we'll say. And you have to remember, this isn't the first time a fellow celebrity has been brought up in the trial. From James Franco to Elon Musk, there have been revelations all around. Some we never had found out, like how Amber had intimate relations with Musk and Cara Delevingne, allegedly at the same time. This trial just gets crazier and crazier, right? Who's being honest about what went down? Now, prepare to be bamboozled because there's going to be a lot of conflicting information here. Earlier in the trial, Heard's representative, Jessica Kovacevic, stated that Warner Brothers informed her that the actress almost lost her position in the franchise owing to a lack of chemistry with Momoa. However, later on, Catherine Arnold stated that the sequel's lead, Jason Momoa, and director James Wan were committed to her and adamant that Heard remain in the picture. Heard and Arnold both stated separately that Heard's character was eventually pared down from the script's first drafts, with the romantic arc and big combat sequences being cut when Heard garnered unwanted publicity during the extremely public split from Depp. However, according to Hamada's evidence, this is far from the actual truth. The DC executive revealed that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was never supposed to be a romance movie, and instead was meant to be a buddy comedy right from the start. This, of course, was between Momoa's lead Arthur Curry and his half-brother King Orm, played by Patrick Wilson. So, when questioned if this is actually what went down and whether Heard's role had been curtailed, Hamada outright denied it. The DC Films president did mention that the original Aquaman worked well, and that audiences mostly liked Heard. According to Hamada, filming on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom went well too. So there wasn't some big conspiracy about the role of Mera like Heard wants people to believe. What did Jason Momoa himself say? So here's the big one. What did the big man Momoa have to say about this? Now, allegedly, Heard's casting as Mera in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was pushed for by Momoa himself. As Johnny Depp's $50 million defamation trial against Heard approaches its conclusion, new testimony from entertainment industry expert Catherine Arnold suggests that Heard was able to keep her role in the sequel because Momoa and director James Wan were adamant she was in the film. Now, let's break this down, shall we? After her divorce from Depp, Heard testified that Warner Brothers didn't want to keep her in the sequel, and she had to work to fight really hard to keep herself in the sequel. It's funny how the op-ed caused Johnny to lose Pirates of the Caribbean, the franchise he spent his life on, but of course, she lost everything, right? Anywho, in the testimony as the defendant in Depp's $50 million defamation suit against her, Amber stated that after requesting a restraining order from Depp, she had to work to keep her job. It's no secret that Justice League and Aquaman are her biggest roles yet, so in her eyes, the divorce is what caused her to struggle with keeping the fame going. Arnold's testimony backs Heard's account of events, as Arnold stated that Mamoa was committed to her. Now, before you start raising your eyebrows at that, it means that Heard supposedly had a detailed romantic storyline with the Game of Thrones actor in the initial script of the DC sequel, as well as action sequences that Heard had apparently spent months rehearsing for. Both of these were radically reduced, and the Rum Diary actress was very upset at losing a bunch of her role. And when it comes to what Heard thinks of the Aquaman actor, well, it may surprise you that she called him an attention seeker, which is pretty ironic. She said that she loved to read by herself in between takes, but Mamoa was such an attention hog that he would tear pages out of her books so that she'd be forced to talk to him. She must be oh so fun at parties. She also made it a point to get an ebook in the run-up to Aquaman 2, so he couldn't do it to her again. Heard has also had a public battle with Momoa's stepdaughter, Zoe Kravitz, in the past, so we don't know just how committed Mamoa would be after all this drama. Comparing Zendaya to Amber Heard? Now, if you had told us at the beginning of this trial that Zendaya would have been compared to Amber Heard, we'd have thought you were on something, but that's exactly what happened. In previous evidence, Heard's WME representative Jessica Kovacevic stated that Warner Brothers claimed Heard's part in the sequel was nearly replaced due to the lack of chemistry that we just talked about. But according to Arnold, Warner Brothers hired Heard for the picture following a chemistry test with Mamoa. During her testimony, Arnold said that Heard was on the verge of having her A Star is Born moment after entering the DC universe, saying that her career was about to take off and compared to her trajectory to that of other A-list actors like Mamoa, Zendaya, Gal Gadot, and Chris Pine. We'll come back to how absurd that is in a second. According to the actress's representative, she was not only a great actor but was gaining popularity all around the world for being in the biggest DC movie ever. But after the messy breakup, things changed as the public's reactions to Amber were unpleasant, and brands and directors didn't want her because of the negative press. Uninformed opinions galore. During the cross-examination, Johnny's lawyer thought it utterly absurd that Amber and her agency compared her career to Jason's after outlining plenty of great projects the actor has been working on. We mean, he was in Game of Thrones, so how on earth do you make that argument? After mentioning the slew of other successful projects like Frontier and Sea, Johnny Depp's lawyer went on to say how that's definitely not the career path that Amber's had. Because, first of all, she's never been the title character in a movie, and secondly, she has spent years on television. So it's easy to say that it's Depp's fault that she hasn't been offered more endorsement or roles, or given a salary raise for the Aquaman sequel, but you gotta look at your IMDb roster before making these claims. Aside from her role in DC flicks, Heard was most recently featured in the 2019 film Golly and the TV adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand. Other than the historical drama In the Fire, she doesn't appear to have any new projects lined up. Being a lead in a superhero movie isn't a piece of cake, and the names she was compared to, like Gal Gadot and Zendaya, they've been standout leads. She's kind of only the romantic interest in a red wig, and that too with no chemistry apparently. So where does that leave you in the sequel realistically? Nowhere. And you can't forget, Zendaya has been in Disney since she was 13, and her successful series list is pretty darn long. So sorry if we think this narrative is severely off and Amber really has to get in touch with reality more. Even in the trial, there was a sad moment where messages from Johnny were shown which proved to fans that Amber was extremely ambitious and loved her career way more than her husband. That has to be a heartbreaking realization, and we just can't imagine how the actor must be feeling. Coming back to how uninformed Heard's legal team is, Depp's lawyer also then compared Amber's divorce to Momoa's divorce with actress Lisa Bonet. Their argument was pretty solid. Mamoa remains incredibly well-liked even though he's also engaged in a recent divorce. You don't see him complaining about how he's hated or can't find work, right? But this wasn't even the most entertaining part. What shocked fans is what happened next. Jessica Kovacevic, the rep of Heard, who's supposed to be an expert on these things, didn't even know about Momoa's divorce. The legal team of the Pirates of the Caribbean star immediately grasped onto this slip-up and asked Heard's agent how she could compare the two when she didn't even have her facts straight. This is a great example of the actress and her team just finding ways to win the trial without any solid proof. And it shows some concerning sides to Heard, too. So yeah, her opportunities have been pretty dry, but you have to be real and not compare her to actors that have been leads in whatever show or movie they're in. Momoa hasn't yet officially commented on his possible role in helping Heard land the part in Aquaman, although he apparently follows both Depp and Heard on Instagram. We definitely don't blame him for not getting mixed up in this ordeal, since he doesn't need any negative publicity with his booming career. Well, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more movie-related news. We'll talk with you next time. Bye for now.